We watched a movie that took place in Passamaquoddy, Passamashitty, who cares? It's a shitty movie. We are In Defense of Bad Movies. Hey everybody, Sam here with another episode of In Defense of Bad Movies. How is everyone? Bobby.
I'm doing okay.
Laura.
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm okay. Lauren.
Good. Way to be passive-aggressive with that intro.
Ooh, they never did that one. So, let's cut right to it. We are doing, in honor of the new Disney movie coming out, a new version of... Zootopia. No.
Finding Dory.
There are a lot of the live-action Beauty and the Beast. No,
I would have much rather watched both those movies combined,
Combine?
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
But no, we did... so, Pete's Dragon is coming out in just a few days. Or actually, by the time this comes out, it will have been out for a few days. And some people may not know that was originally a 1977 movie called Pete's Dragon. It's a remake because Disney can't do anything original these days. No, they do original stuff, but they do a lot. They're also taking stuff out of the vault all the time. And Loren, you loved the original Pete's Dragon.
I did. As a child, this was a mainstay in my home and absolutely loved it.
And so you were defending it today.
I am.
Had you guys seen it before?
No.
Long time ago.
Yeah, same here. When I was a kid, I saw it, and I think I liked it, but I hadn't seen it until just last week. But now we have. And Laura got a refresher, too. So, before we go on, let us do Laura's 15-minute movie synopsis.
15 minutes?
Yes, 15 minutes.
I don't think we should cover that long, because she's going to bash it the whole time.
Well, we'll get to that eventually. Okay, 15-second. That's what I meant to say. I'm not good with words.
All right. Okay. Ready?
Talk right into that mic.
Okay. So, watching this movie, starting it, and seeing that it was more than 2 hours long, it just felt like hearing crickets the whole time. So, I'm just going to be silent for the rest of this, and that's what watching the movie was like. Okay, that was what the movie was about.
I like obstructionist Laura. It's like, no, I refuse to play your stupid game.
I love how Laura's 15-second movie synopsis has turned into Laura's 15-second movie critique.
It's funny. 5 seconds into the first, I wrote it down. 5 seconds into the first song, Laura, because Laura and I were pretty quiet during the first part of the movie. 5 seconds into the first song, Laura goes, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Oh, Petey.
I did. I had no idea this was a stupid musical, and I lost it.
Now, do you not like musicals, or...
No, but most everyone was a terrible singer, so...
Because they were, driven by character.
Were actually terrible songs, too. And, as someone mentioned earlier, all the songs were over the dialogue, so it was so hard to hear what they were saying.
They kept playing the music over the dialogue. I think that first scene was the worst offender, too. It's like, it totally undercuts any sort of... emotion you're supposed to have?
It points to the colorful landscape that they're trying to create with this movie. The lack of realism. It's more just sort of a delightful musical, amuse-bouche.
You've got this menace, though.
I have no idea what you just said.
It's, it's not a realistic movie. There's this whimsical music playing, and you're in this world.
No, I absolutely think that this movie is based on a reality where people are living in, and you're supposed to join it and kind of understand it. And
like every movie,
you don't, though, in this movie.
And there are some big threats in this movie that if you are undercutting that, you're like, what's the point of the big bads? I don't know.
They're not undercutting it. They're just, it's the...
They're saying that there doesn't pose much of a. They don't really pose any threat because the music's saying, "Dum dum, everything's okay here."
It's just heightening everything.
No, that's what I think that's what Laura and I are saying is that it's not. It's undercutting, and I think that's what you said. You're like,
what's
no,
your example of
it's
a
a
moment?
whimsical
No, I
thing.
mean, what is your moment that does that?
That whole opening scene when this family. We should get into what's going on.
I mean,
here.
if these Dickensian horrible people came in talking about wanting to torture this child, like then you might.
That's
but
the
we're
thing.
in a fun movie. We're having fun.
It's over the.
no.
They are talking about torturing it, and it's over the top, and the music just totally undercuts that. And
Well, and he gives foster parents a really bad name.
foster
These
parents
aren't your
are
classic foster system. They bought a child. with the
Disney is
intent.
Wait, that's not how the foster system works?
No.
And also, Disney is well established that birth parents are the only way to go, and anything else, step parents, foster parents, that's not good.
They're lesser.
So yeah, this is Disney canon. And so yeah, we should get into it. So okay.
Let's really get into this. Let's unpack this.
Where do we
Alright.
start?
I know.
So Pete is this kid who doesn't have parents aren't in the picture, but he's got this foster family who adopted him basically to do their slave work.
An incorrigible 10-year-old little mophead of a boy, yeah. And these, terrifying mountain people, they went down to the local orphan asylum.
They got a bill of sale.
Orphanarium. Yeah, they got a bill of sale right here.
Do you know Jeff Conaway is one of them? The Kaneki?
Really?
Yeah.
I hope it's the old toothless paw.
No, it's the mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shelley Winters in a powerhouse screech of a role as, old ma, terrible person. The Gogans is the
Gogans.
What?
Gogans, not a real name. Like Gorgon, it's sort of got mythological tones.
It's also
to
sort
it.
of like Gauguin.
Yeah. Oh, Gauguin was an asshole. Always purchasing children and making them paint and selling them as his own.
Now, why didn't Shirley Booth and her husband just put her kids to work? Because they did not.
Shirley Booth?
Not Shirley.
Michael Sheila. Shirley Winters.
Shirley Winters. Who's Shirley Booth? Whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Because they're all lazy layabouts. This is a really good point.
Yeah,
I
but
can't
she
imagine
did
how
not-
this 10-year-old is the solution to run the farm.
Because she did not seem to like her kids that much.
No.
So why not just put them to work?
I'm sure they're all working, but they are all...
No. I think they make it clear that they're not. That he does all the
I'll
work.
take you one further. What plot function does this family serve?
None.
That's why Pete needed to be saved by a magical dragon who's invisible sometimes.
He's lonely and he
He's-
needs a family.
He's a child in peril, which is a very common, experience in all these movies.
So did he meet Pete like 5 seconds before the movie starts?
A little while before, like they've been on the run for a while, but I think that their
Wow.
relationship is fairly new.
So wait, he didn't just run away from the Gogans right before the movie started?
Yeah, essentially, but not like 5 minutes. Like, they were down in
So it was like Pete.
So
South Carolina, now they're in Maine or
So
whatever.
Pete was.
So he's been on the trail for a while.
He's been on the trail for a while.
And
When did Elliot come into the picture? That's a good question.
Okay, so Elliot came in the picture like a month and a half ago. He was like walking down the street.
why do you
and
not
he saw
fucking
this
start this
child.
movie with Elliot and Pete meeting?
Because that is silly.
And why
Because you never want to see like the unfolding of the relationship, especially when character is not capable of speech. You don't need the meet cute between Pete and Elliot of like, oh, hi, I see you're a dragon. Oh, that's right, I am. Like, you don't need to see that relationship build. You just understand the like mystical deus ex machina of a dragon
So
coming
like,
in to save a child.
what you're saying is they didn't do any work on the relationship between Pete
I
and
don't know what you're
Elliot.
talking about. If you met a benevolent dragon, wouldn't you immediately be best friends? Like, you don't
I
need
would
that
immediately
background.
ask this super-powered magical being to remove me from this indentured slavitude.
Yeah, exactly.
But
It's all
but
implicit.
They
and
have
so.
a relationship where that hasn't happened. They just ran away.
Yeah, from indentured servitude.
But he could have like just swung his tail. He could have burnt them to death. He could have swung his tail around
He
and
doesn't want to murder people.
he could have shown himself and basically said, wah, 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 and then
he
Pete would have
seems
said,
to-
"That means stay the fuck away from me, assholes,
Well,
or this
he-
dragon will kill you."
Seems to understand a level of needing to protect himself by remaining invisible, but then also not being able to control his impulses and wanting to then do that. And Pete has to draw him in sometimes because he's fairly childlike, the dragon himself. And so, he senses that he should not reveal himself even to the Gogans, but
But okay, so if you go to back to the very beginning
very beginning
and
with the map painting.
instead of running away from the Gogans, if Pete's just some orphan kid wandering the wilderness alone with a dragon. Does that change anything in the story up until the Gogans re-enter the picture? It doesn't, right? Like, you don't even need the Gogans. Like, this, I think this movie has, like,
But
villain
that great
overkill.
song.
You're right, you do lose that great song.
It's the peril of
And that song is, like, half the
the
movie.
darkness that he might go back to. It's, the looming.
Like, the wilderness, living on his own as a child.
Who wouldn't have fun
Much
living
like
in the
it sounds
wilderness
like they're
with
doing
a
in the new
dragon?
movie.
Yeah. Who wouldn't have fun living in the wilderness with a dragon? It sounds like My Side of the Mountain meets a cool dragon.
It sounds like Jungle Book, which that kid was pretty good.
Yeah, he did great. Inexplicably.
Yeah.
That child would be dead.
Yeah. So, okay. So, yeah. So he does get away from them. The Gogans give up for a while.
The Gogans quit because they're French cheesing.
They give up until the third act.
And then,
They're just trying to find him, and then they all fell in that bog, and surely the quicksand was sucking them down, and they had to escape and regroup, and
and then Pete and Elliot meet a Mickey Rooney.
They meet Mickey Rooney in Padamahasi. Pasalahusi.
Yeah.
No, it's Passamaquoddy.
That funny running joke,
That's
right?
funny. And yeah, that's right.
None of this movie was funny.
It was
None of this
so
movie was good. It
funny.
was such a boring movie. Bobby fell asleep. I had to wake him up.
Because you're having too much fun.
No, because I said I don't want to
Well,
rewind
Laura,
this.
Laura woke me up at one point, and then I rewound the movie to where I had fallen asleep and hit play, and then Laura totally seriously looked at me and went, I'm so pissed off that I have to watch this movie twice because of you.
I like that. How did you guys get the movie?
We rented it.
Amazon?
iTunes.
Oh, Amazon had 72-hour rental, and usually it's 24-hour rental, and I think they knew. They're like, you're not going to be able to do this all in one sitting.
It was
You're going to want to
really
watch
hard.
it multiple times, is what they understand.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Because, come on.
We'll give you 72 hours to rethink.
I don't
buying
know
it.
what part of this movie would be a kid movie. Like, I don't know. I can't see
Cartoon
myself
dragon?
as a kid liking this movie.
Are you kidding? This
No.
Oh, see, no. This movie to me, I absolutely
I think it can
acknowledge.
only be liked by kids.
I think that's fair.
I think kids would be bored by it, honestly.
No, I love it. I will absolutely acknowledge that.
Maybe
this
it's
is
a nap
nostalgic
time
choice.
movie, So the parents turn it on and the kids fall asleep.
Okay. I actually acknowledge that it's not perfect. It's, they were trying to get another Mary Poppins and it is no Mary Poppins.
No.
But, oh my gosh, as a kid, I wanted an Elliot so badly and I wanted to live in a lighthouse so bad. And this movie fed those needs very well.
Yeah.
And it was colorful and funny. Oh man. Elliot's just
It was
delightful.
colorful.
It was very colorful and funny.
It was colorful.
Oh.
I guess for a kid, it's might be funny.
Okay, so positive thing. When I had assumed going into this that the whole special effect of Elliot wouldn't be impressive, in 2016, I wouldn't really care. That first song and dance number with Elliot and Pete, I was like, wow, this looks cool. I mean, it looked fun. That's all that we get of them really interacting with each other, but.
And having a good relationship together. There's so much
they
of
don't really have a relationship because they're not together for most of the movie.
Yeah. And a lot of it is Pete yelling at Elliot and saying, Elliot, stop being so magical. And this is, so it's
Sit
nice to
in
have
this
that
cave
So
moment.
and
we're
be
just going to
invisible.
brush over the fact
Yeah.
that they're not together for most
Hide
of the
in a
movie.
cave and don't contribute to my life. And
Yeah, because it's not really a movie about a dragon and the relationship that he has with this kid. No, it's just about them being separate,
they're together plenty. But, because it can't just be about the dragon because he has to have a life for himself. You can't just, as you say, live in the wilderness with the
the
dragon.
whole idea of Elliot is to be kind of like a parental role for Pete. And when you have them apart for so much of the movie, by the end, it doesn't earn it.
Well, that's because a dragon can't be a parent. A dragon can be a good friend, as we've discovered, but
No, but
Pete's got to find a real
it
family.
still doesn't earn the
He needs
ending
a Helen Reddy.
of Elliot taking
fine.
off and saying, he has
He's
to
got to
go.
go help another kid.
I know, but it
That's
doesn't
his
earn that
goal.
because he doesn't
Dragons
actually
live
help
forever, but not so little
Pete
boys.
at all.
He gets him away from those. He comes in all the time. Every big thing is, Pete.
I think that
Elliot
this
coming in to
movie,
saving him.
It's built on a really bad basis. I think that it would be really interesting if Pete if Pete saw the dragon, so the audience saw the dragon, but no one else could see it, and so it was kind of
It was
is
really.
it real
I like
or
that.
not?
I was enjoying a moment of considering, wouldn't it be fun if Elliot were a construct of Pete's imagination? And
Yeah, 'cause then
he was able to actually do these things and had superpowers.
It was actually kind of unclear.
Well,
Could
without
Pete,
that.
could Pete see Elliot even when Elliot was invisible? It felt like he could.
I don't know if he can properly see him or if there's some sort of connection where like I know where you are and I'm
Because
looking at
there's
you
there's the whole thing with like you need to be invisible, and then Elliot goes Elliot
tell
goes
when
partially
he is
invisible, no,
invisible.
all the way invisible.
But somehow
Okay.
he always knows where he is. Like when
Yeah.
people are like, "Where is he?" Like
And
he's
he
just
knows
over
when
there.
he's doing things, it seems like.
Well, like when he's leaving dragon footprints in wet cement or
Okay, that
knocking over picket
But it
fences.
still felt like even when he was invisible, Elliot could still see him.
He has some sort of sense
this
of him.
movie doesn't
Because
care.
he is a Targaryen, so he has magic in his blood that allows him to be a dragon rider, which not all Targaryens have.
He does not have silver
And
hair.
so, exactly. Well, you know.
Or violet eyes.
Well, no, but neither does Amelia Clark in real life.
Well, that's because she couldn't take the contact lenses. It was affecting her performance. This will be on the IMDb trivia for Game of Thrones.
Guys, have
There's-
you heard the theory that Tyrion is Targaryen?
No.
I don't know about that.
What?
It's interesting. Anyway. And Pete's a Targaryen too, that's all I'm saying.
The minute Drogon goes invisible in the next season of Game of Thrones, I'm going to lose my mind.
That's how he talks. Like, But there's going to be a humorous scene where he's like, you gotta be invisible. So he's like, okay, I'll make my head disappear.
Well,
and then Daenerys
that
is going to be
scene-
like, no.
It's gonna be
And
a
then
20-minute
he's
scene.
going to make his arms just like, no. And then finally he'll go full invisible.
You know what's weird?
And that's how they're going to sneak into Westeros.
You know what's weird about
You can save a lot on
Elliot
the budget that way.
talking is that sometimes you could kind of like make out what he was trying to say, but a lot of it was like just gibberish. But there were a few times where I'm like,
This is where we learned that Laura can speak dragon.
that is so weird.
Holy shit.
Laura's Targaryen.
She's got blonde hair.
Purple eyes.
Holy crap.
They should have all just made it like gibberish, you know, or nothing, you know.
Okay, a thing I legit don't understand. So Pete makes Elliot go invisible
Oh, I think you're going.
before they go into the city.
Because they want to make a good impression.
And then he won't shut up about his dragon.
Pete.
Oh no,
That's
that
a
was my
terrible
dragon
plan.
that did that.
Because why did he not have Elliot be invisible? What were the rules of invisibility? That's what I didn't understand.
As to why he becomes invisible or why not all the time?
Why wasn't
Budget, Laura. That's why.
why wasn't Elliot invisible more often? You know, when he was in danger or whatever, he never
Seems like a good solution to things. You know.
seems like a really good solution.
Elliot doesn't want to be invisible all the time. It's tough on him. You know, it's tiring. But Pete wants to go into this town and like try to find a family and make a good impression on everybody. Because that's all kids want, stability.
I think that
You know how you make a great impression on everyone? You walk into town with a dragon.
He's also...
You're the
But
coolest
they'll
kid
all
in
run away
town.
scared. He has... I want to know how many towns they've been to before. Because Pete seems to have an understanding like, no, you gotta be invisible. We gotta go in and make impression. I forget if there's actually a line about it, but like, can't have it be like last time. Like, how many times have they ruined people? Like, how many heart attacks have they caused by just strolling into town with an animated dragon?
How many walls has Elliot comically crashed through?
Leaving the
Elliot-shaped holes in the wall.
Goofy side.
Oh my god, I want to watch an entire movie where Batman and Robin and Elliot fight crime and crash through walls together.
Oh, that's right. That's the thing.
That's a good callback to another movie we reviewed.
Yeah. I like how Pete couldn't cry his own tears, so at one point Elliot wipes a tear away and it magically appears on his finger.
I like that everything Elliot touches becomes animated. That's really impressive. That's part of his magic.
Oh, there's even a point where like fire, when it comes out of its mouth, it's animated, but then there's real fire, and it's like it's not a good marriage between the live action and.
After you've seen Who Framed
Who's
Roger
Afraid
Rabbit,
of Roger
this is
Rabbit.
exactly where that was going. After you've seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit, obviously this is going to look rudimentary, but this was sort of, beginning of it.
That's fair. It looked good in Mary Poppins.
Well, that was the opposite. That was humans in an animated world.
It looked good in that.
It was a chalk drawing.
In that short where Porky Pig drives his car through
What's
Hollywood.
that over there?
I don't see anything. Lauren.
Oh gosh, it ran away.
The Elliot special effect looked fine for a movie in 1977. Like,
You take except with the acting and writing and story.
I just
and
think,
directing.
and I understand
That's
why
all.
it happened. It's like, yeah, no, totally. Yes, absolutely. But it's a cop out for Elliot to just be invisible half
Yeah.
the time. Like, let's
Well,
not bother with drawing him.
There was a fun trivia. Oh, do you?
They
Oh, I
ran
was
out of
ju-
budget, so he had to be invisible half the
Are
time.
we done talking about the movie now?
No, I was just going to say that the eyeline work was no worse than it was in Star Wars Episode 1, so...
Yeah.
Well, it's got to be hard when Elliot's size lacks continuity. So you're never
That's
quite
true.
sure where you're looking because he is many different sizes throughout the
Yeah,
movie.
sometimes he's a tall man, sometimes he's a fire engine, basically. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
did-
variable.
I did like, what's the woman's name in the movie?
Helen Reddy.
Helen Reddy.
Feminist,
feminist,
icon.
yeah, exactly.
No, almost. It started
No,
off.
she,
No, she
No, I mean,
actually
like in
is.
real
life.
IRL.
She is woman hear her roar, lady.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, her character was really good until then she was pining for this guy.
Paul has been lost at sea. I mean, she's
I'm rolling my eyes, everyone.
she's a strong woman that doesn't require a man. But if Bobby were lost at sea, wouldn't you be heartbroken?
No!
Oh, that makes me sad for you guys. How was your anniversary last week?
We're not going out. This is really awkward. Who's friends?
So just the anniversary of meeting each other? That was weird.
Well, it's actually with Jesse, our friend Jesse McCann.
You met Jesse.
Yeah, everyone's met
Online.
A
Jesse.
few times.
Space Jam.
Laura
guy.
left me behind a Marine. Once you're on a Marine.
Yeah, I got my dragons. I don't need anyone.
She's going to marry like a lord or something, Bobby. You understand?
No, yeah,
You
I have
get
to
it.
I've got
stick around.
Dario, right?
No, you left him.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm Daria.
I'm going
I
back
just-
to him.
So-
Yay!
So
No, not to Bobby. Dario.
I'll forgive the rudimentary animation. Not animation, but animation live-action marriage. But musicals have been done for many a year, and the dubbing was horrible on this, especially in the one where Mickey Rooney talks about the dragon.
A dragon.
Oh
a dragon.
God!
I swear I saw.
I think they were singing a completely different song.
My
what
last
was played.
note that I took for the movie was this dragon song will not end.
Oh God!
It was a pretty good long sequence. It turned into a foam party. Apparently,
And
Actually,
quality's on
actually,
Fire
my
Island.
last note is next time we should do a movie with less singing, like Les Miserables.
I like how there was a lot of urgency when Mickey Rooney came to sing about the dragon, and it just he like joined in with everyone else, like, oh,
Yeah.
it's a musical now.
turned
Let's
into-
have fun.
Drunk.
And Helen Reddy
so
came in very
messed up.
concerned for her
This is
father,
my dad.
and then like she
And
just
then
joins in too.
Yeah, she did like a 20-minute dance number. Yeah.
Because that's how infectious the music is.
Infectious.
You just start dancing on the barrel.
Yeah, his
Music.
character was bad too.
Oh, he's avuncular.
No, he's supposed to be.
He's a little alcoholic charmer.
No, I don't know what I'm gonna say or what I want to say, but I don't know. His character is very strangely written.
Yeah, Mickey Rooney was
For being a kids movie, why would you have a drunk character?
This was back in the time. There was drunk character was good comedy. Drunk character was right up there with man dressed as woman.
Did you not catch on that Pete was an alcoholic?
That's the only way
I
to
think I
describe
missed
Pete.
that.
They had a few heavy drinkers in this too.
This-
Red
I
Buttons was.
Ooh, I want to dip into IMDb trivia
Oh, too
for a
late.
lot of stuff.
Are we
gotta-
done
but
talking
But no,
about
wait.
this movie?
Oh
I
no,
thought-
there's a lot to say.
I thought Mickey Rooney was fine in this movie. Like he was nice. But yeah, that character had no purpose.
No.
No one has any goddamn purpose in this
No.
movie.
He was part of the family. He was,
But he didn't do
he was
anything. He
able-
didn't help save anyone at the end. He was just there to
Well, he's a townie. He's part of the town folk, but he's like part of the family. He's,
kind of
you know,
spoil everything. 'Cause
He's the grandfatherly figure that's gonna.
not really because
come in.
he wanted to.
Like what you're saying
he
sounds really
teaches-
nice, but it also feels
he
like we're extrapolating a lot from
teaches-
something that isn't there.
Pete to whitewash, which Pete says himself is very fun.
No, but
yeah, that
He
takes-
really was
takes
enjoying
The charlatans.
I think he was just trying to get somebody else to do it for him.
He take Dr. Terminus and
Yeah.
Red Buttons.
Yeah,
I
Red
forget
Buttons
is his name.
to see the
Hope,
dragon.
or something like
So
that.
yeah, no, he's not a good character.
That's an important plot device that he tells them about the dragon initially. And
Yeah, because he can't keep his mouth
The
shut.
villains,
He's
the
a
villains,
dirty drunk.
who should be the only villains in this movie, get introduced.
Because they're great. Come on, Jim Dale and Red Buttons are comedic dynamos.
No,
They're so
they're
funny.
not funny.
The
at
facts
all.
of the case for these. They
I
came
can
into town. and they were very
100% tell
funny.
you, I did not laugh one bit.
Pass him a hat. He can't get the name of the town right because it's a preposterous name.
So he's like, wait, okay, so Termino.
Terminus.
Terminus.
Dr. Terminus. Like
Terminus.
a train station.
Termino is from
Don't
The
go to
Legend of
Terminus.
Zelda. Terminus.
what?
I said no. Termino. No, Termino's a never mind. Whatever.
Terminus a street.
yeah.
in Longview.
There
Grand
we go.
Termino is
Used
a
to live
movie
on
with Clint Eastwood.
Terminus is like he's a con man,
Yeah,
kind
he's
of,
a
right?
snake oil
He's a-
dealer.
yeah.
He's a
But
charlatan.
He's a flim flam man.
But he has like a book of legit magical recipes that he requires a dragon for. So,
Well, we don't know how legit those are. He just thinks they're legit.
but then why wouldn't he just lie about having a dragon? Like, this is made from dragon horn.
But that's the problem. He wants to be like this curative dynamo, but he can't do it
Does he?
because he lacks all these skills. You'd make
Yeah.
so much more money if you had that.
He's
and so
like
he probably
he's like Trelawney. He believes in divination, but he
do
can't really
it.
do it himself. But he's like, oh shit, I can in this particular case. I just got to kill me a dragon.
I gotta make snake oil because I don't know how to do actual medicine. But if I had a dragon,
Why am I defending you?
why
am I helping defend this movie?
Because you realize how right I am and how right Jim Dale is.
I have recently
everything.
found out that Loren just randomly, I'll complain about something or something, and Loren will take the opposite stance constantly, and then like, I don't even, do you really believe that, or do you
So
just,
sweet of you not to get mad at me.
I don't
about
know
this
why you
as well.
do it though. It's like,
It is not me trying to negate you. It is just
I think
trying
you
to
just
see
always look at the other side,
looking
and
at
like
the other
sometimes,
side, and somehow I find that
Lauren,
comforting. Like maybe this is what happened, and now don't I feel better that like that guy cut me off in traffic.
I wish
maybe
I had a really
he's
solid
like going
example,
to the hospital.
but like that would be something. But there have been other. I can't. I'll have to next time.
no,
I-
it seeps
It's
into
called
more conversation.
The
than it
Devil's
should.
Advocate.
Yeah, that's right.
no, yeah, no, I
And
think-
that's
If
Like-
someone
so annoying.
If someone comes to me and says they're Jesus reincarnated, I'm gonna have to play the devil's advocate for the Vatican and try to disprove them.
anyway. Yeah,
I thought this was going to go a different direction. I thought you were going to say she just picks the opposite position, and then you find yourself, or she picks your position and you find yourself on the opposite position,
No,
or something, like a
yeah.
duck season, rabbit season kind of thing. In which case, Lauren, this movie was so good.
Thank you, Bobby. I agree.
oh, it didn't work.
Because I'm usually right.
I have written here in Cave, Pete's an asshole.
Pete's always Pete's an asshole for a lot of the movie. Let's
Is it?
be
Okay.
honest. Pete's the villain of the movie.
he is not a good kid. He's a terrible.
Oh,
kid.
that's right.
He's
It-
a
to-
terrible
to
actor.
Elliot.
and
Yeah,
singer,
he was a
too.
complete
He's not-
asshole.
He doesn't respect his friend is the problem
No.
with Pete. Like he is a child, and so I'm sure a certain amount can be forgiven, but like doesn't understand that Elliot's not trying to cause harm by doing stuff in town. But then he like yells at Elliot. And
Yeah,
so mad at him.
to this childlike dragon.
Who's so sweet.
Who should,
And like, thank you for being my only friend. I apologize for screaming at you. No, Elliot's got to come and like try to win him over and be so sweet. Like,
Yeah.
oh, please forgive me.
Pete's a douche.
Jerk. He's also, I think, yeah, he's not a villain. He wants to be a good kid, but he's just a solipsistic child, like they
failing.
all are.
I like when Pete is singing his song to, the whole describing the dragon with like, quite frankly, very inaccurate similes.
I don't know what you're talking
But where at one point she just tunes him out. She's like, "I got to work on the books right now."
important
and
Lighthouse
also,
books.
what kind of books do the Lighthouse have? Oh, we didn't make anything last quarter. What is going on?
Do you
But-
deny that he has the head of a camel
Yes.
and the neck of a crocodile?
Crocodiles really don't even have necks.
What about
Correct.
the ears of a cow?
He does. I'll grant you that. He has ears of
Do
a
you
cow.
deny that he is both a fish and a mammal?
Very much
You
so.
guys, it's like we were watching two different
I would
movies.
say neither, actually.
There is no such thing. I don't know what's going on with my headphones. All of a sudden, it kicked in my right ear and then went away again.
Maybe
'Cause I-
you're just partially deaf.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Oh, it did that to me earlier. I didn't even realize that I can hear him in both ears now.
Anyway, so yeah, that was horrible. And they couldn't even take enough time when they're writing the songs to say like, "Hey, let's accurately describe this dragon." Or do you think, or did they have like the song people over here and the animation people over here, and they didn't talk until they put the movie together?
Pete is not a zoologist. He doesn't really understand. And if you look at like animated camels, maybe he does look like an animated camel.
Were they working on like an early drawing of Pete when they, or of Elliot when they?
That's what their perception of dragons are.
He was like the beast when they were trying to work out just what he would look like. So there's all this concept art for, what combination of animals he was. Whatever, it's a good song. It's one of the best songs in the show.
No one ever.
And back to the snake oil salesman,
Dr.
Terminus. This town deserved to be cheated for falling for all of the red
Yeah.
buttons disguises.
Those were seamless. Red Buttons is a great character and comedic actor. I mean, falling for the fact that the lame man is suddenly cured. I mean, they're not that smart. They're pretty dumb.
Yeah, it's a dumb town.
But it's a multicultural town. There were actually black people in town, which shows this was made in the 70s, as opposed to earlier in Disney history.
But like in one scene, there's black people in the town,
Yeah,
right?
that's enough,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
That counts.
Speaking of which, Song of the South
still
had better
Maine.
marriage of marriage of race relations
Oh,
and
boy.
animation.
Oh, race relations? That's
And
the one?
animation, yeah.
That's the one?
That's the one.
I think absence of black people is better race relations than Song of the South.
Sam's going to defend Song of the South.
Now, we've been crapping on the music.
Okay, so
Okay.
this is a total... No, before we leave, I really liked Splash Mountain when I was a kid. And so I would walk into my movie store like every time I went there and asked them if they had Song of the South because I didn't know. I didn't know. And so like...
We didn't know.
Well, at least
like
you weren't a
10
little
times
white
at
kid.
least. Yeah, I was just like, hey, do you have Song of the South? And they're like, no. Oh, okay.
What's wrong with
Do you have it
racist
yet?
Child?
I actually have a copy of it on Region 2 VHS.
Wow.
That I don't know, I'm not 100% sure it is, but I would like to get it transferred over to something I can actually watch.
But then you would have to go out in public and have someone do that, and then they would judge you.
That's true.
You're a white male.
Yeah.
Make Bobby do it. He's sort of ethnic.
I am?
A little bit.
I could say it's for
Oh, no.
I could say it's for my sociology paper.
Ah, that's a good idea.
No, I'm too old to be in college.
No, you're never too old to go back to school.
Say it's because you want to teach your kids the right values.
It's actually on YouTube, and we've talked about watching it.
I think we will one of these days.
Yeah.
It's got all the Splash Mountain songs in it.
If you take the animated part and cut out the intrinsic racism of the animated part, it's a great movie. Just cut out all the actual live stuff with real slaves.
Back to the songs, though.
I want to talk more about Song of the South.
We know how
I
to make
want
Pete's
that.
Dragon better.
Just at the time, like, Walt Disney took the effort to, like, go to leaders in the black community and, like, talk to people and try to figure out how to make a sympathetic, like, intelligent movie, and he threw all of their advice out.
That's how you do things, right?
Yeah. When you're Disney.
Yeah.
Now you can
You have to know all the rules before you can break them. So he learned them, but he said, "Screw this." Okay, so we've been crapping on the songs with good reason.
Nope.
Candle on the Wind, Candle in the Water, good song, Oscar nominated song. They could have put more thought into how to film it, rather than just a still image of her standing in front at the top of the lighthouse.
If you build that lighthouse, man, you shoot that beacon as much as you can.
I'm fine
And they
with
did
that,
build that lighthouse.
But it was so static. It was just a slow
Because it's just the power of her voice
pull in.
and the light on the water, and that's all you need.
This movie is so
And also a throwaway plotline you don't need.
and
Well,
stupid and
Another
the
good
songs
thing
are
that
dumb.
Elliot does. Elliot finds Paul, y'all.
When does Elliot find Paul?
He's not just in that cave for 2 hours. Like,
And
Pete
then so
sends
what?
him to go find Paul, and Elliot finds Paul.
The flying magical dragon
Can't go
finds
and help
him
them.
and just points and goes like, go home, and then goes back to the cave?
Well, He's trying to
he
keep a
was
low profile.
In a hospital bed with amnesia, and Elliot invisibly knocked over the bed. He hit his head. That cured his amnesia, and then he went home.
It's Flintstone rules of amnesia. If
This
you
is
get
how
hit in the head
amnesia
an
actually works.
odd number
sometimes.
of times,
Oh
you,
my
you
God.
lose your memory.
This
If you hit
is
an
a little-
even number of times, you get it back.
It is a little bit scientifically found, though, that some head injuries are.
Show
Oh
This
my
is
god!
No, this is legit.
No,
I have not heard this
I
Radio
have
Lab.
Never heard
There's
this.
no. This is. I mean, not like all the time. Like if you have amnesia, don't go hit your head against the wall. That's not going to work.
That's the doctor's
Oh my
prognosis.
But
It's
there's
okay.
also like concussive maintenance for your brain.
We actually
Percussive
do not
maintenance.
know
Percussive
anything
maintenance.
about
No, I like concussive
amnesia.
I knew a bunch about
This
amnesia,
is
but I
not-
just
This
don't
is
remember
something
it.
I heard on something. I'm not I'm not diagnosing or advising anyone. I'm just
we
saying.
are not doctors. Do not listen to this advice.
This is a
not
thing
medically
I heard
sound.
one time.
Nope.
Legit.
Did you hear it from Donald Trump?
No, I would never repeat anything he would say except to respond with a, "Are you serious?"
Now, Lauren and I watched this movie about a week ago,
Mm-hmm.
so I've forgotten. So I've written down things that I've forgotten what they mean.
This will be fun.
Somebody says, "How do you like my new suit?"
Pete does.
Pete.
He's got a fancy new suit that's way too fancy.
And then I have somebody pants like a wolf in a Tex Avery cartoon. Who pants it? Oh, is it Elliot?
Is that what Elliot does when he has a drink of water? A drink of alcohol?
No, it's
No.
after he shows him the suit. He pants
Oh,
like
it's
he's
ha, ha, ha.
like he's
Woo.
into Pete. I think I'm starting to find out why this dragon hangs out with kids all
He's
the
always
time.
around helping little boys.
Yeah, and that's also why they distorted his dialogue, so you couldn't really understand what he's saying because it would just be like, "Oh yeah, come here, Elliot, take it off."
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm not comfortable with
And
this.
he's invisible. Oh,
and he's like, "Don't tell other people about me."
your
Pete."
imaginary friend.
Yeah,
I think this is why the movie is so bad. We found the real reason.
No, because he wants to go visibly into town and be open about their relationship. It's Pete who's trying to hide it, so he's not a predator. He's just a nice luck dragon.
That makes it worse.
he's not a luck dragon.
He's a luck dragon, sort of.
Oh.
They were.
He's not furry.
He's not. Okay, he's not exactly.
What's his
He's
name?
not
Well,
a
he is.
falcor.
He's half mammal, so he might be furry.
Tips of his ears, at least.
He's not half mammal. He's both a mammal and a fish.
Just means that he live births as well as giving.
If he's a fish, can
delivering
he
eggs.
swim?
Is
Sure.
he like an
And
echidna?
if he can swim, why didn't he swim our missing person back to shore? Why did he stick them in a boat?
Because Paul doesn't know about the dragon. He just knocked over his bed so they hit his head again and got his memory back. But he's
It's
still
not-
invisible.
It's not like Elliot gives a shit about like keeping quiet.
He acknowledges that he might give adults heart attacks by just appearing to them. Like, he knows. He's childlike as well.
How is he both a fish and a mammal, and we've never seen him do anything with water?
He has gills.
No.
It's how he breathes oxygen. And he has gills.
And they could clearly make him a reptile and something else. But like a reptile and a bird, because he flies.
Oh my
Elliot
gosh,
is
there we go.
not a zoologist.
He's both a bird and a reptile.
Nor is he a cryptozoologist.
And it fits the song.
I'm legitimately surprised that you remember the melodies to any of these songs.
Oh,
'cause
I've been...
They are in my ear, out my ear, so quick.
I've been hearing this since we decided to do this movie.
You can't have him. Yeah, it's great. It's fun. It's good
Oh.
times.
Oh God, I'm sorry, Sam.
So I want a big ship I can play on. That was fun in that one musical
Right?
number. Yeah,
How
it's
awesome
pretty
was
cool.
that?
Yeah.
In that like wonderful equalitarian song they were singing, "There's room for everyone in the world," and let's just go climb on the mast that's in the middle of the town.
No
netting.
No black kids in that one though, right?
Well, no. They're all sharecropping out in the farms nearby.
I want to watch that movie.
Roll of Thunder, right next door.
Guys, Pete had to face the knuckle cracker
Oh,
and had to wear a dunce cap.
that bitch.
That is messed up.
That Charlotte's Web goose talking bitch of a schoolmarm.
Is that...
She's horrible. That's what she reminded me of. She sounded like the
Oh, okay.
goose from Charlotte's Web.
She was awful.
She was the worst.
She was worse than the Gogans.
She is every teacher in any kind of like schoolhouse villain. There's always the knucklecracker and the dunce cap. And she was terrible, and Pete was trying so hard to be a good kid.
How did Pete know so much if he didn't go to school?
They were drilling.
Yeah, no,
back at
no,
the
bad
house.
story.
The Gogans also...
Pete shouldn't be able to read, but he was in the orphan's home for a while, and maybe the orphan's home had regular schooling.
yeah.
And he has
This orphan's home that sells kids.
that sells
had
children
good schooling.
and sends them back to the people they've sold when they run away and tell them that they were being tortured by this family.
Guys, the Gogans had him doing the yard work and the books. So he had to know these things.
Now, the most infuriating part is when Elliot is ringing the
You could
school
literally say any plot point after that.
bell. Well, this is
The most
specifically the school marm that I hate.
infuriating part is that we had to watch this movie.
Elliot was ringing the school bell. Pete ran outside saying, "I'll stop it." And then bitch school marm's like, "You're ringing the bell, you brat kid."
Yeah.
Like, but he's trying to stop it. You
And also,
Oh,
they
she
got-
was
monster.
just looking to do that
She's
anyway.
a gorgon.
It started. It started before he went out there. Yeah, she's a cunt.
She's a terrible woman.
Yeah. Bill of Sale.
She doesn't
song.
deserve to be saved by Elliot in the end by being electrocuted by a falling power line.
And that song about owning that kid was so jaunty. The Bill of Sale song.
We got a bill of sale right here. Yeah, they're terrible people.
Why was Elliot ringing the bell?
That's not clear. Because he's childlike and thought it would be fun. That is a weird moment.
Nothing's clear in this movie.
Mostly it
Oh,
seems like
Elliot's clear. Literally.
I think Elliot maybe
He's
saw
invisible.
doesn't most of what Elliot,
Ladies and gentlemen, I have been Bobby Mattern. Good night.
that part's rough because most of what Elliot does seems to be either unintentional or for the benefit of Pete. So the bell ringing was real. Like, Elliot, what are you doing? Stop being a dick. Because he wasn't being tortured at that point. If you were saving Pete from the school teacher. That would make sense. But that was just Elliot's being an asshole right now.
Yeah. Which led to Pete
being tormented by this horrible
Yeah.
person. I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm irate.
I think it's probably good that they separated at the end. It's probably better for both of them.
Do you think it's
Well,
because
that-
Pete's
that's a
getting
shame.
little too old for Elliot?
But
Like,
that's
I'm not into you anymore.
Because now the town knows about Elliot and they're on his side because he saved everyone and brought back the fish. And so it's a shame that he has to go away now because he would be welcome there, I'm sure. And now he's got to like start all over again with a new town of like, no, I'm cool, guys. I'm cool. I'm benevolent.
Elliot really enjoys going on tedious adventures with children, so
Why?
Not for the reason you think, Sam.
Why did Terminus's why was his
you could say anything Terminus did after that.
why was his like truck or whatever he was doing? Why was
His
it
wagon.
his wagon? Thank you.
Dragon wagon.
Not mobile.
Yeah. Why was it sail based?
They had to sell the horses, or
Oh, that's
like,
right, yeah.
like to get out of trouble in one town, they had to sell the horses, and so they have it to run it with a sail.
I actually kind of like that the sail driven wagon. That was amusing. Reminds me
I
of-
enjoy them a lot. Like we can.
No.
There's a lot wrong, but those two, I don't know if it's just the Jim Dale and Red Buttons are awesome, but I like their stuff together. They're delightfully comic villains.
What else have we got?
This movie is so bad.
At one point, Jim Backus, the mayor, when he runs into Elliot, and it smashes his cigar, and you can totally see that it's a glass. and a few years later, with Raiders of the Lost Ark, we still haven't come up with any better way of any way of getting rid of the reflections of things.
There's so many lights on set. It's so hard.
Yeah, that's true.
If you can think of a better way to stop Harrison Ford from being murdered by a cobra, I'd like to hear it.
It would have been so much better if Elliot's name was Pete, because, Pete's magic dragon.
Puff the Magic Dragon.
Oh, that sounds similar, right? You just want
Well,
to
they
say,
both-
Pete's the
they're spelled
dragon's
in
name,
French.
and
I like
Elliot's a
Elliot.
kid.
This is the first time I heard the name
No,
Elliot, and I love the name Elliot.
Sounds like a kid's name.
Wait, you heard what? You watched this before you did E.T.?
I did, I know, right?
That is the saddest thing.
It's older than E.T.
Yeah, but you're younger than both. Wait,
Bless your heart.
you're about.
Yeah, no, go with that. I like it. I'm
Okay,
years
you're
younger.
about the same age as. I won't say which.
Accurate.
Well, I mean, Pete's Dragon is way less impressive after you've seen E.T., though, right?
That's true.
Well, every movie is less impressive after you've seen
Yeah.
E.T. E.T.'s amazing.
Schindler's List is crap.
I didn't
after
say
E.T..
that.
Wait, did everyone...
That
Hang on,
sounds
hang on. Did everyone else see E.T. before they saw Pete's Dragon?
I don't know. I was a kid.
I've never watched E.T. all the way through.
I remember being
What?
traumatized from stuff in E.T. before seeing the movie all the way through.
Guys, Laura hasn't seen E.T. all the way through. What are we
We
doing?
need to watch E.T. And have a special
anything
Needs No
like-
Defense episode.
No.
If
No.
anything
No.
like Pete's
It's not.
Dragon.
It's not.
No,
It's
it's
not.
not.
Watch
It's
the
not.
movie.
They're unrelated.
If
Aside,
it's anything like perfect, then we should watch it.
You know how Pete's Dragon really wants you to be really sad and cry at the end?
This legitimately does it.
you know how you don't care about the made up creature in this thing?
Debatable, but all right. Going with your premise.
Totally do an E.T.
You know how you wanted more songs in Pete's Dragon? Just kidding, you didn't. You wanted no songs in Pete's Dragon? E.T.
Remember how you wish that Elliot and Pete had a psychic link? Good news.
Remember how you think that the child performance in this movie was crap, but you would like to see a good one? E.T.
That's
You,
pretty
you know how you like movies with Drew Barrymore?
Yeah.
The baby,
Do you know how you
baby
love?
Drew Barrymore.
Do you know how you love movies that at one point had guns in them, but then later, like those were changed into walkie-talkies?
But we don't have to watch
Good
that
news.
version.
No. That's-
Everyone talks about the guns substitution. No one talks about how they replaced E.T. With like a freaky CGI model in
Did
that
they?
one.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I've not seen this version,
Neither.
Oh,
and so
it's a
that's
million
even
times
more
worse.
upsetting. Why would they do that?
I don't
He
even care
spends
about
too
the guns.
much time with
It's-
George Lucas.
That's horrible because
You
E.T.'s
can't find that
perfect.
version anymore. You
Good.
can only find the original version
Thank
now.
goodness that everyone rebelled and said that's ridiculous. I don't want to.
It breaks the
First,
movie.
Number one, digital ET would be terrifying because model ET is already a little bit scary, and so that
Picture E.T. moving really fluidly and not looking quite right.
that thing's gonna murder me.
Okay, so now we're starting to talk about E.T., I
Because
guess.
it's a great movie.
Yeah, and we're all happy. Do you see this? Do you see what's happened?
Dude, before I saw the movie, we had like a tape that was the story of the movie with Michael Jackson on it for some reason. And there was like music.
Are you
And then the sound that E.T. makes when he's scared. Like, and that messed me up as a child.
So you're admitting that Pete's Dragon is a really bad movie.
I'm saying it's not the greatest movie, but I'm saying that there's merit
We've
to
all
it.
we've all come to agreement that E.T.'s better than Pete's Dragon.
Well, yeah, that's for sure.
Right.
We're going to do a real quick Sam's mom's corner. Her final word on the movie was, "It'd be okay if you were 2 years old."
And you could go to do nap time a few times.
I like she said, not only like it would be good, it would be okay.
The problem is this movie exists in a bubble, and I don't think that children nowadays would be okay with it at all.
No, at all.
Like very small, if you were 2, you'd be like, okay. But like children nowadays would be playing on their iPhones.
Even I had watched this movie before. I took away from it the scene where Pete's telling Elliot to disappear, and he won't disappear all the way, and then their entrance into town. That's literally
That
all
was
I
all you
wrote with the
had?
movie. Yeah.
Aww.
I didn't even know it was a musical until we started watching it again.
I just remember the way Elliot talked. The
A lighthouse and a dragon. That was absolutely what I wanted in my childhood. And this movie taught me to love that.
Maybe one day we'll get you a lighthouse.
Yay! Not this one, though. They were going to move it to the Disneyland park, but it was in too much disrepair.
You're spoiling your IMDb.
That wasn't
trivia.
on my trivia
okay.
list. I didn't know if it'd be interesting enough, but I decided to say it anyway. Ha!
Well, let's do it. Let's go to Lauren's IDOBM IMDb trivia TM.
Okay, because there were a few things I did want to bring up when we were going over it because stuff lent itself to the conversation so well. To go back to discussing how often Elliot should be visible, that was actually a big deal that they were debating in the writer's room at the time. At first, they were going to have that you never see Elliot, that it was just invisible, and they do all like the play with that. And
Oh my god, that sounds unbearable.
Unbearable. Well, that's fair because Elliot's so delightful. We'd be sad to be robbed of him. But that would go a lot more into the like, is this a crazy child or is there really a dragon? And that could be fun.
And we couldn't dispute that song about that he's got a face like a camel and a neck like a crocodile
Exactly.
because we wouldn't know. So,
No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be and the movie, like, first scene we see of Pete, he is flying through the air on an invisible dragon. It'd be fun if they kept that a secret a little bit longer, I think. So I agree that maybe Invisible Elliot would have been fun. But unfortunately, the animation studio was lobbying to increase the visual screen time. And
No way.
yeah, those dumb artists. And so...
I'm calling bullshit on all of this.
What? It's on IMDb, Bobby. It's true.
There's no way that Elliot was absent from this movie for any reason other than budget reasons, because that is the stupidest creative decision I've ever heard of.
Especially since it was, the poor period in Disney's life. I'm sure that this was very early, and he's invisible the whole time. And then eventually they were going to have him, when they did animate him, just show up at the very end.
These are the rocky years of Disney.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And so I'm sure they were
did
looking
Rocky,
for...
right?
Yeah.
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 That turned
And that was
things
a good
around
hit
for them.
That really brought some money. And so they were like, okay, so we can throw a little bit more money at a creative team. And let's animate
Apollo
this
Creed
one.
was going to be animated originally.
Yeah.
But he was
But then it was the Song of the South people who were doing it, so they're like, no.
And then finally they were like, let's have him in.
Yeah.
We've mentioned the rampant alcohol abuse theme in the movie, that the
Theme?
abuse part is not enough of a theme. But
Gonna go ahead and put theme in
it
air quotes
is-
there.
Is it the rampant alcohol abuse that you start to have after watching this movie?
No, that's all the characters in it.
No, it's the rampant alcoholism that you need to have to
Yeah.
make it through this movie.
Yeah.
Sick burn, Laura.
Guys, you are going to have so much egg on your face because Helen Rennie, Mickey Rooney, and the songwriter Al Kasha all had alcoholic fathers. So you feel bad, don't you?
Why
I
should
don't.
we feel bad for that? I mean, I feel bad.
Someone wrote that into IMDb trivia?
Is that actually based?
Doesn't that put, on some of these guys? I know definitely Helen Reddy and Mickey Rooney did. I have no idea who Al Kasha is other than the songwriter for this movie.
I'm pretty sure that those are just very strange coincidences. Or
I
it's
know-
not even strange,
oh,
just
I'm-
a coincidence.
I'm not implying that is why they wrote that into the movie. I think that alcoholism, as we discovered, is just a good
This
comedy.
This is a whole other lens. I feel like
It's
I need
just
to give this
interesting.
one another watch.
But it gives you a little more respect for how difficult would that be for someone who actually suffered from an alcoholic home to like do your funny comedy drunkard scenes? Like, and those were rampant in, you know,
Yeah.
You would
film
say,
like history.
no, I'm not going to do it.
How often do you think Helen Reddy's dad, let's say his name is George, got that,
George Reddy.
hey, George, are you ready for your next drink? And he's all, hey, guys, I'm always ready
But
because I'm an alcoholic.
he insisted that was how they would talk.
Yeah.
And then he'd sing a moving anthem
And they're like,
about alcoholism.
I am
That's where Helen got
a
from.
drunk, hear me roar. Because I'm saying I would do that if my name was Reddy and I was an alcoholic.
And we have discussed that you guys, okay, I've gotten it, that you guys feel like the music was not the strongest component in the film. And that might be a good argument since...
I don't think we said that. We said the music was crap. It may have been the strongest component of the film.
And that's a good argument because initially it was not really a musical. They were looking at other actresses, and then Helen Reddy got caught on. And so the songwriting team of Al Kasha and Joel Hirshorn came in and were only hired to write Candle on the Water. So apparently, initially, it was not a musical, but there was going to be one song for Helen Reddy for no good reason.
Oh my god, 2 hours makes so much more sense now.
But then,
okay.
okay.
No.
Yeah, go ahead. And then after hearing the song and like a studio cut, they really liked it and said like, let's just make it a musical and
they
hired them back to
spent
do the whole
next
score.
hour
Why do you
doing the
not
rest
just
of the
do
movie.
Candle on the Water then?
Why even do Candle on the Water, period? But so like,
Yeah.
well, if maybe they realized,
But-
why would we have one song? Let's just make it a musical.
Breakfast at Tiffany's had Moon River, right? And nothing else?
That felt more diegetic though. Like she was just kind of singing on the balcony. Like
So
it wasn't
why don't
like,
you hand her a guitar and sit her on the balcony?
well, that's a much better idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to embarrass Loren.
Because you can't do that booming voice just like strumming on your acoustic guitar. Like, no, you're going to bring your powerhouse song. Go ahead and embarrass me.
So when it must have been a while since Lauren had heard the songs from this because when she started, she's like, I wonder, is the music in this like Sherman Brothers music?
No, it was this is true. I did never know who the writing team was. And I grant you
This
thinking...
is absolutely not the Sherman
It is
Brothers.
the opening overture is what made me ask because
okay.
the overture had the real lush. I mean, it was a Sherman Brothers style, is what they were going for. I mean, the argument was the studio wanted another Mary Poppins, but it was a little bit after the Sherman Brothers era, so I feel foolish for thinking it. But the
I
overture
don't mean
is
for
very.
timing. I mean for how bad these
Oh
songs
no,
were.
for quality.
Yeah, okay.
Fair enough. And to all acknowledgement, Candle in the Water and what's it called? It's Not Easy were really the songs I love from the show.
Okay.
And I like the from the movie, and I like the Dr. Terminus comedy songs, but they're not the best. They're not in my show tunes playlist. No.
Okay, then you can still have show Broadway cred, I guess.
Yeah. I can still be a snoot. And that is the IMDb trivia.
Okay, Bobby and Laura, let's discuss gender politics in the movie we just watched.
I got the eye of the tiger.
Susan B. Anthony was on the dollar coin for a reason.
Stop objectifying me.
Gloria Steinem.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Equal rights amendment was never ratified.
Rosie the Riveter.
Oh my God, Bobby, shut up.
Rosie the Robot.
Who's gonna make me my sandwich?
My body, my choice.
Blatant.
Blatant.
Susan B. Anthony was taken off the dollar for a reason.
Beyonce.
There aren't a whole lot of female roles in this movie. And the one role, Helen Reddy's character,
She makes a great mother.
she ends up being the mother figure. And she starts off and she has so much promise. She goes, oh, I'm not married. I'm married to this lighthouse. And, you know, she's independent. She's...
Lighthouse has a giant penis. Go on.
Yeah, I guess so. You could think of that, but then they just like kind of undercut all of that with her lover who was lost at sea, and then at the end they're just one big happy family. They don't really need his part at all. But fortunately, it's Disney, and female roles were really bad in that time.
I have like nothing interesting to say.
So, Laura, you're saying that a woman can't be a strong feminist figure if she has a family and a husband? Is that what I mean?
No, I'm saying that you can't have her. You can't say like, oh, she's a strong person at first without.
If she has a man and a child, then
No.
So you're
but-
saying it wasn't necessarily anti-feminist, it just wasn't feminist.
Well, no, because she still pined for this this guy. Like,
Oh,
she
okay,
still
okay.
went out every night sang the song or whatever, you know, had this ballad that, you know, she was dedicating to this guy.
And why couldn't it be a woman?
Yeah, exactly. Why couldn't it be a woman?
Why couldn't it have been a dragon?
Aww, she had a dragon
Why-
when she was a child, and she just misses it because it went away to help some other little girl.
That would have been a great twist. If you don't see the picture, you
Well,
just...
and
That
also,
starts to feel
she
weird.
is just like a one-dimensional character. You don't really know anything about her aside from, you know, she has a lover lost at sea, and she takes care of the lighthouse and her drunkard father.
Okay, cool.
She's loving. She's a caretaker.
Not really, though.
She-
She doesn't really care when when Pete goes missing at the end. She's just like, whatever. She doesn't know because she's so wrapped up in this guy, her lover. and
She's
she-
gone to the lighthouse. There's a storm, and they're trying to fix the lantern.
See, she's more concerned about the guy.
She's more concerned. She doesn't know that he's coming. She's more concerned about all the ships at sea. She's
I don't
the,
think so, 'cause
the
she
needs of
sees
the
the
many. Oh,
She doesn't know
wait.
it's him.
Yeah.
But I think she does, doesn't she?
No, I think she's a big old surprise when it's Paul at the end.
I don't think so. That's not what the impression I got. I don't know. Maybe so, maybe not. But I thought she knew it was him.
All right, let's do the movie we wish we'd seen.
Ugh, this movie is crap. I could write a better movie in my sleep.
And now, IDOBM presents the movie we'd wish we'd seen.
And that is, of course, where we take an aspect of this movie and, like, you know, wish we'd seen that part of it. Like a sequel, prequel, some sort of character that should get his own movie, etc. Bobby, let's start with you.
Well, it talks about it a little bit. I think this movie only needs one villain. I don't think you need the Gogans at all. And I think the biggest crime of this movie is that Pete and Elliot spend most of this movie apart. And Elliot spends most of his time invisible in a cave. When you build up to like an ending where they have this really bittersweet goodbye, it just doesn't have any emotional impact. So I really wish Elliot and Pete had a more explored relationship in the movie.
How about you, Laura?
I'm going to go off of what Bobby said, and I'm going to say I would cut the people at the beginning, the Gogans. Is that what their name is? I would cut them. I would cut all the music in this movie. I would make Pete less of an asshole, and I would change all the performances so they're better, and I would have more time with Pete and Elliot, because that's really the point of the movie, is to show what their relationship, because Elliot's this parental figure for Pete, but you never get to see that until the end, where there's this bittersweet goodbye between them, but you're not really sad at it because you haven't seen them interact for most of the movie.
If anything, they have a very toxic relationship.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I would do. So I'd basically just start from scratch, and the new movie looks bad too. So I don't know.
As for me, I like
And I like Robert Redford. I'm sorry, I just had to say that too. But that movie does not look good.
I like the idea of having the, like, is he real, isn't he real type thing, where, you know, for a while we don't know, where we don't see Elliot at all, Elliot at all, and maybe toward the end we find out that this is just a crazy kid who has telekinetic powers that makes him do the things that look like there's a dragon, or maybe no telekinetic powers. Maybe he's just a crazy kid and you know, has an imaginary dragon friend, and actually that could work very well. And the goodbye at the end would be him having to admit that no, this is just an imaginary dragon, and I'm a crazy kid.
It's like Fight Club.
Exactly. That's what I want. I want the explosions and the dildos and suitcases. I think that would make this much better. Now, you liked the movie, Loren, but if you had to,
I do,
pick
but I acknowledge
else.
it's not perfect. And I'm kind of conflicted, because on the one hand, I was going to say something like that. I like it where
I'm sorry, I stole it.
Elliot. No,
Preempted.
yours is a little different. I don't want to go crazy, Elliot. I want to go like the
Crazy Pete.
You're right. I want to go crazy, Pete. I want to say it's an extension of his. It's a manifestation of his imagination and id, and so that he actually creates something that can do these things. Like, I enjoy that idea. But then I don't want to rob the world of a fun dragon. So I want Ellie to be real. And I do want to go back and see, like, I think the discovery of each other, how they meet and getting away from the Gogans or whatever toxic scenario he might be in at the time, and the adventures they have, maybe the failed attempts in different towns and like having to run away till they finally find, solace and home at Passamaquoddy.
So just to be clear, I want an emotionally broken Pete, and you want him just like with a wild imagination. If in that scenario.
Implicit,
not wild.
Saying superpowers of some sort but he is a child and can't fully accept or understand that he can do things with his mind, and so he is able to make a construct of a dragon that you can see and that does things, and like he's imagining these things and they come true.
Okay.
But he's not evil like that Twilight Zone kid.
Billy Mooney.
Yeah. Oh, that kid.
It's a wonderful world, or no, it's a whatever the heck.
It's good that you did that, Anthony. It's real good.
It's a good life. That's it. So upon revisiting it, even though you admit, like you said, it's not perfect, you still like it?
Yeah, I do. Absolutely admit it's not perfect. Watch Mary Poppins instead, but it's fun.
I don't think we're going to be here surprised at all. Laura?
No. Do not watch this movie. This is a warning. Do not watch this movie.
Bobby?
Yeah, I liked it. It was pretty... No, no, I didn't like it.
Yeah, I didn't like it either. I will say, though, you're doing a bit of the Bill of Sale song. I did go like, maybe that song wasn't too bad, but I think it was just catchy. I don't think it was good. But there's a fine line between, catchy
it is, because that song has been in my head since, age 5.
I thought it was just the other two songs that you remember.
But that one, like, Helen Reddy and the Bumming, you can't have him, and her big, like, voice, like, that always is in my head.
Good microphone work, pulling away from it when you go big. Okay. So let us. I think I forgot to do this past few episodes, but let's do something that needs no defense. Just something you're into right now that is just good that you would like to talk about. Bobby, how about you?
So for the past few, I've tried to tie it into the movie, and I got nothing. But I do have to recommend a court case called Georgia versus Denver Fenton Allen, which is a court transcript that went viral a couple weeks ago. But I'm not recommending the transcript, but the creators of Rick and Morty acted out the court transcript to storyboards and had Rick and Morty play the main characters. You should absolutely look up Rick and Morty acting out.
It's not safe for work.
It is not.
What's the court case about?
I don't want to give away too much because it has twists and turns, but it's
I'm so curious.
The defendant is trying to change his public defender and is trying to make that case to the judge who's not having it. And in this version of it, Rick plays the defendant and Morty plays the judge who's not having any of it. And it's incredible. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. So,
how about you, Loren?
We were talking about this off mic before, but I'm always dreading this segment because I'm ashamed that I don't often have a really good answer for this. But I'm the last to the train and have started watching Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which legitimately is a really good show. Like, I heard that from people like, oh, it's good. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's your little musical show. I'll give it a try. But no, it's actually really well written. Songs are actually quality, and it's on Netflix right now, and I can highly recommend. I'm excited. I'm actually going to have something new to watch in the fall season.
Cool. How about you, Laura?
I am going to recommend watching Game of Thrones. I knew you all were like, into
what is this Game of Thrones?
That is definitely something that needs no defense.
Everyone listening who doesn't know Game of Thrones hates us.
I'm going to tie it in to the dragon theme, unlike Bobby. I'm going to tie it in with the dragons. And if you guys want to actually see cool looking CGI dragons, check out Game of Thrones.
Do you want to be best friends with those dragons? Those dragons would kill you as soon as look at you.
No, because
that's why I want to be best friends with them.
Yeah, exactly. I want to be a Targaryen.
If Tyrion can calm them, I can certainly calm them too.
Spoilers.
Spoilers for something that hasn't happened yet and might not. God, Laura.
You guys, I'm sorry if I spoiled it for you, but you should still watch it.
But seriously, anyone listening who does not know Game of Thrones hates us for all that talk before.
What channel is the show on?
Is it on TV?
It's on HBO.
Oh, that's not TV.
oh, I knew another one. The Night of. It's a mini series on HBO. It's really good. It's about this guy. I don't know how to describe this. It's not really a police procedural, but it kind of is, but it's really interesting. So Riz Ahmed, is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
It's really good in this. And so is John Turturro. So
John Turturro's always good.
yeah.
Cool.
It's very
Crush on
cringe-worthy because you're like, no, don't do that.
Oh, it's like The Office. Yeah,
like,
it's hilarious.
Cool.
It's really good.
I'm going to recommend something I'm currently reading. It's sort of a sequel to a book I read before called, the original is called Every Day by David Levithan. It's a young adult book. It's about this entity that wakes up in a different body each day. And it is very good. I re-listened to it. I would definitely read it instead of listening to it, the audiobook. I'm not a huge fan of the person reading it. And it is not without its flaws, but it has so much heart and it's so sweet, and I really like it. I don't want to go into too much detail because it gets a little spoilery, but I will say that this entity, who normally is just all like, okay, I'm in and out, and I try not to leave any lasting effect and try not to mess with anything. I think I may have said he, but it's genderless. It kind of falls in love with somebody else and decides
Spoiling
to
it
stop.
for me
Okay.
already.
Okay.
Just
I
kidding.
apologize. It happens like really early on, but and it's really, like I said, it's really sweet. Not perfect, but I'm going to give it 5 stars. I know we don't star
Out of
things.
how many stars?
5 stars out of
20
5.
stars?
Even though it's like
5.
technically it's not perfect, but it's like had enough heart to make up for all that other
And
stuff.
what was it called again?
It's called Every Day. I'm working my way through the sequel. I don't think I'm going to like it anywhere near as much. But
If anyone of our listeners, or 3 or 4 listeners, want to comment on our recommendations, or if they want to talk shop with us with these, then definitely hit us up on Twitter or Facebook or
yeah,
email.
I'd love to open up a dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're a legitimate podcast, and we do not have enough listeners screaming at us on Twitter and telling us that we're assholes and we're wrong and we're stupid. And that seems to be the mark of a successful podcast. So I'm hoping for that.
It's because we have just as many listeners as all those other podcasts, I'm sure, but they're just super sweet and they're not. Yeah.
Guys,
And we're that much better.
Thank
you know?
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're above the fray.
Thank you, everyone.
We are.
The Fray?
Yeah.
Yes, that band.
How to
Say.
say
So how do you email us, Laura? It's is it indefensivebadmovies@gmail.com? I think so. Or you can look up us on Facebook, In Defensive Bad Movies.
Yeah, and then our website is
idobmpodcast.com.
You
And
could-
that is also our Twitter.
You could follow our Twitter. I think that's it, right? Those are the major ways to.
Well, I think we all have Facebook too.
Yeah.
Do
know our
not look
name.
me up on Facebook.
I only take friend requests from people I know personally.
Yeah, me too.
I'm just.
No.
Guys, Facebook is not cool anymore.
What are the kids
So
using
look
now?
me up on
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
That's what all the kids are using. Real quick plugs. I've got my improv group has our drunk show September 4th at the Long Beach Playhouse. That's a Sunday at 7, where we will get drunk and do improv, probably poorly, but it'll still be funny. Loren, you've got some plugs?
Yeah, I have a play coming up that I'm in, not just that I'm recommending, at also the Long Beach Playhouse.
Same stage.
Same stage. It's going to be crazy. Your drunk show is going to be on my stage.
I might vomit on your planter. I don't know.
We're doing The Importance of Being Earnest, classic, hilarious play by Oscar Wilde with a twist. It's an all-female cast, which doesn't change anything because it's still a really great play and really it's pretty straightforward. But it's a very funny show, and we're running from September 3rd to October 1st. I believe that. It's a Saturday to a Saturday. So that's right.
Cool. How about you guys?
Yeah, I'm going to be playing a lot of Overwatch on my PlayStation 4. So if you want to play with me, hit me up on Twitter.
But you can't watch. I tried, and you wouldn't let me.
I would not. My internet connection was not strong
You
enough.
don't want to Overwatch Bobby playing.
Oh my god. He will not be playing Overwatch. Mark my word.
No, that's right. I won't. I will. I definitely
No.
He's playing right now. All right. Any other last words before we cut it short? Not
Can I
cut it,
do
just cut it.
a 6 Degrees plug for the movie?
No.
No.
All right. If you loved Jim Dale in this movie, or if you don't care, I don't care anyway, what you should do in your life is listen to Jim Dale read the American versions of the Harry Potter audiobooks.
That
because
guy.
he's incredible in them. Does all the voices with such conviction. He's wonderful, and is also the narrator for the amazing lamented show Pushing Daisies.
I didn't realize that was him.
Same guy.
All
That's
right.
why he's so wonderful.
Cool.
And on that note, I'm actually going to say that you're listening to the Game of Thrones
I am.
audiobooks.
He's very good, too.
And that narrator is also very good.
He's a little creepier when he tries to do the lady voices,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
when there's a sex scene.
But he's an older guy. He can't help
He's an
that.
older British guy.
And he's reading creepy George R. R. Martin sex scenes. So,
Very creepy.
but yeah. All right. Thank you for listening, and probably don't watch this movie.
Yeah, don't watch it.
And have a brazzle dazzle day, everyone.
Nope.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.